handling a youth, and the felt, are greasy.
Do not your courtiers' hands sweat? It is the grease of a mutton as wholesome as the sweat of a man. Shallow, shallow, a better instance, I say. Come.
Besides, our hands are hard.
Your lips will feel them the sooner. Shallow again. A more sounder instance.
And they are often tarred over with the sturdy of our sheep. And when you have us kiss tar, the courtier's hands are perfumed with civet.
Most shallow man, thou worms in respect of a good piece of flesh indeed. Learn of the wise and perpend. Civet is of a baser birth than tar, the very uncleanly flux of a cat. Mend the instance, shepherd.
You have too courtly writ for me. I'll rest.
Wilt thou rest damned? God help thee, shallow man. God make incision in thee. Thou art raw.
Sir, I'm a true laborer. I earn that I eat, get that I wear, own no man hate, envy no man's happiness, content with my home, and the greatest of my pride is to see my ewes graze and my lambs suck.
That is another simple sin in you, to bring the ewes and the rams together, and to offer to make your living from the copulation of cattle, to be bought to a bellwether, and to betray a she-lamb of a 12-month to a crook-pated cockledly old ram, beyond all reasonable match. If thou beest not damned to this, then the devil himself will have no shepherds. I cannot see how thou should escape.
Here comes young Master Danby, my new mistress's brother.
From east to western Ind, no jewel is like Rosalind, though her worth, being mounted on the wind, through all the world bears Rosalind. All the pictures fairest lined are but black to Rosalind. Let no fair be kept in mind, but the fair of Rosalind.
All rhyme you so 8 years together, dinners and suppers and sleeping hours accepted. It is the right butter woman's rank to mark it.
Out, fool.
For taste. If a heart do lack a hind, let him seek out Rosalind. If the cat will after kind, so be sure will Rosalind. Winter garments must be lined, so must slender Rosalind. They that reap must sheaf and bind, then to cart with Rosalind. Sweetest nut hath sourest rind, such a nut is Rosalind. He that sweetest rose will find, must find love's prick and Rosalind. These are the false gallop of verses? Why do you infect yourself with them?
Peace, you dull fool. I found them on a tree.
Truly, the tree yields bad fruit.
Peace, I say. Now stand aside, here comes my sister reading.
Why should this desert be? For it is unpeopled. No, tongues I hang on every tree that shall civil saying show. Somehow brief the life of man runs his errand pilgrimage in the stretching of a span, buckles in the sum of age. Some of violated vows twixt the souls of friend and friend. But upon the fairest vows, devised, of many faces, eyes, and hearts that have the toughest, dearest prize. Heaven would that she these gifts should have, and I to live and die her slave.
Oh, most gentle pulpiteer, what tedious homily of love you have wearied your parishioners withal. I never to have cried, have patience, good people.
How now? Back, friends. Shepherd, go up a little. Go with him, sir.
Come, shepherd, let us make an honorable retreat.
Didst thou hear these verses?
Yes, I heard them all and more too, for some had in them more feet than the verses would bear.
But that's no matter. The feet might bear the verses.
Aye, but the feet were lame and could not bear themselves without the verse, and therefore stood lamely in the verse.
But didst thou hear without wondering why thy name tree hanged and carved upon these trees?
I was 7 of the 9 days out of the wonder before you came. I was never so rhymed since Pythagoras' time. Look what I found on a palm tree.
Troy, you who had done this,
Is it a man?
and a chain that you once wore about his neck. Change your color.
I prithee who?
Oh, Lord, Lord, it's a hard matter for friends to meet, but mountains may be removed with earthquakes and so encounter.
Nay, but who is it?
Is it possible?
I prithee now with most petitionary vehemence. Tell me who it is.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, and most wonderful, wonderful, and yet again wonderful, and after that, out of all hooping.
Good, my complexion. Do you think, though I am comparisoned like a man, I have a doublet and hose in my disposition? But 1 inch more of delay is a south sea of discovery. I prithee, tell me who it is and speak of pace. I wish thou couldst stammer, that thou might pour this concealed man out of thy mouth, like wine out of a narrow-mouthed bottle, either too much at once or none at all. I prithee, take the cork out of thy mouth, that I may drink thy tidings.
So you put a man in your belly.
What manner of man is he of God's making? Is his head worth a hat, or his chin worth a beard?
Nay, he hath but a little beard.
Well, God will send more if the man will be thankful. Let me stay the growth of his beard, and I will blame him not the knowledge of his children.
It is young Orlando, who tripped at the wrestler's heels, and your heart bowed in an instant.
Nay, but the devil take mocking. Speak, sad brow, true maid.
I faith, cuz 'tis he.
Orlando.
Orlando.
Alas, the day! But what shall I do with my doublet and hose? What did he? What sourced him? What said he? How looked he? Where went he? What makes him here? Did how part he from thee? And when shalt thou see him again? Answer me in one word.
You must bargain your angel's mouth first. 'Tis a word too great for any mouth to see decide. Say A and A, these particulars is more than an answer in the catechism.
But does he know that I am in the forest and in man's apparel? Looks he as freshly as he did on the day he wrestled.
It is as easy to count atomies or resolve the propositions of a lover. But take a taste of my finding him and relishing it with good observance. I found him under a tree, like a dropped acorn.
It may be well called Jove's tree when it drops forth such fruit.
In the audience, madame.
Proceed.
There he lay, stretched along like a wounded knight.
It would be a pity to see such a sight. It well becomes the ground.
My apologize, I pretty. It grew back so seasonably. He was furnished like a hunter.
Oh, ominous! He comes to kill my heart.
I would sing my song without burden, thou bringest me out of tune.
Do you not know that I am a woman? When I think I must speak. Sweet, lay on.
You bring me out. Soft. He comes up here.
'Tis he. Sleep fine, no too.
I thank you for your company, but I would have sleep in myself alone.
And so had I. But yes, for fashion's sake, I thank you too for your society.
God be with you. Let's meet as little as we can.
I do desire we may be better strangers.
I prithee, mar no more trees with writing love songs in their barks.
I pray you, mar no more my verses with reading them ill favorably.
Rosalind is your love's name?
Yes, just.
I do not like her name.
No thought of pleasing you when she was christened.
What stature is she of?
Just as high as my heart.
You are full of pretty answers. Have you not been acquainted with goldsmiths' wives and conned them out of rings?
No, but I answered you by painted cloth, from whence you have studied your questions.
You have a nimble wit. I think it is made of Atlanta's heels. Will you not sit with me, and the two of us will rail against our mistress the world and all our miseries?
I will chide no breather in the world but myself, against whom I know most faults.
Your biggest fault is to be in love.
It is a fault I will not change for your best virtue. I am weary of you.
By my troth, I was seeking a fool when I found you.
He is drowned in the brook. Look but in, and you shall see him.
There I'll see but mine own image.
Which I take to either be a fool or a cipher.
I'll tarry your company no longer. Goodbye, seagull love.
I am glad of your departure. Adieu, good Monsieur Melancholy.
I will speak to him like a saucy lackey, and under the habit play the knave with him. Do you hear, Forester?
Very well. What would you?
I pray you, what is the clock?
You should ask me what time of day. There's no clock in the forest.
Then there is no true lover in the forest. Else sighing every minute and groaning every hour would detect the lazy foot of time as well as the clock.
And why not the swift foot of time? Had not that been as proper?
By no means, sir. Time travels in diverse paces with diverse persons. I'll tell you who time ambles withal, who time trots withal, who time gallops withal, and who he stands still withal.
I prithee, who doth he trot withal?
Marry, he trots hard with a young maid between the contract of her marriage and the day it is solemnized. If the interim be but a 7-night, time's pace seems so hard it seems the length of 7 years.
Who ambles time withal?
With a priest that lacks the Latin, and a rich man that hath not the gout. For the one sleeps easily because he cannot study, and the other lives merrily because